I am the Watcher. The multiverse, every single world, every story is my home. And I will protect it to the end.
In this video, we're going to be going through the new Origin, which is a multiverse exploration origin, the 4 new civics, which includes a new civic apparently optimized for tall play, and another civic which I have to say seems like a crisis rush civic if ever I saw one. And on top of that, we're going to run through every single new item being included with this DLC. So stick around for all of that and more. I will of course put chapters in. I think this is going to be quite a long video. First up though, we have a release date and a price tag. Astral Planes will be releasing on November the 16th, which is a week from the recording of this video, at a price of $20 US or 20 euros. If you buy it before November the 27th, you do get a 10% discount on that, but that is the same price as a major expansion like Overlord, Federations, Nemesis. That is not the price tag that you'd usually expect from something which is a story pack. I'll talk more about that price tag later on in the video, but for now let's look at what Astral Planes is including. The DLC will include some new core mechanics, Astral Scars, a new site type, an Astral Rift, which is a site, let's note that, so that is archaeology sites. This is a new type of archaeology basically. That's kind of what they're saying here, which is what the other screenshots have led us to believe. A new resource, Astral Threads. Astral Harvesting, a technology to harvest astral threads. The Rift Sphere, a technology to explore astral rifts. Rift in space situations, which unlock Rift Sphere technology. And random Stage 2 Rift situation events. That one does actually sound quite interesting. 30 plus new Rift sites, so it is more than 30. Each site contains branching narratives featuring multiple potential endings and a chance at powerful new rewards. New relics. Astral Planes features new relics. From the Infinity Route to the Continuum, we're going to get 8 new relics in total. And Astral Actions. 10 new Astral Actions, 4 more if you have the Overlord DLC, for a total of 14. The Formless. Now, we've not heard about what the Formless are until now. We've not actually heard about that name until now. And actually going through this, we're not really going to hear anything else until my speculation right at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Definitely doesn't sound like a fourth crisis. The Riftworld Origin, that is the new Origin, where you start with an active astral rift in your home system. 4 new civics, they are Hyperspace Specialty, Dimensional Worship, Dark Consortium, and Sovereign Guardianship. These are repeated for all 4 government types, that is the regular bio, the Megacorp, Gestalt Consciousness types, so that is Hive Mind and Machine Empire, except Dimensional Worship and Dark Consortium is not available to Hive Minds or Machine Intelligences. So, if you like playing Machine Intelligences, half of these civics are actually not for you, and the ones that are, as we'll see a bit later, lose some of their power because they don't have the special counselor position. We also get new sounds, music, and visual effects. 3 brand new musical tracks from Andreas Waldertoft, who honestly, I think it's fair to say we've definitely missed brand new music coming into Stellaris. That was some of the great content, great additions we've had from DLC, has been the musical packs. It's great to see them returning. We're going to be getting 70 plus new event pictures and 80 plus new sound effects. Alright, that is a full rundown of all of the new content coming with Astral Planes. Let's dive into first the Origin, then the civics, and finally some speculation about possible crises at the end. Let's start with the new information about the new Origin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Riftworld. A massive rift in space and time looms near this civilization's homeworld. After studying the phenomenon for millennia, recent advances in starship technology will allow us to finally reach out and discover what secrets it might hold. We get some effects. An ancient crater archaeology site on the capital, so there's some archaeology, some history to the capital we will be uncovering. I'm guessing that's going to be similar to the On the Shoulders of Giants, Origin, where maybe there's one archaeology site that leads us to another, and then another, and possibly we get some bonuses later on in the game. We'll just have to see. Then, chance for astral rifts to appear in systems we control plus 100%. Modifiers: astral rift exploration speed plus 25%, and astral rift fail probability minus 50%. This is the Astral Rift's origin, basically. I mean, it makes sense, really. They're including it with astral planes, so having an origin that really allows you to explore this multiverse further, yeah, that definitely makes sense. So Riftworld is what the devs consider their launchpad origin for this expansion. If you want to get right into what Astral Planes is all about, this is where you should probably start. So overall, this is probably a very thematic origin. We don't yet know how powerful the astral rifts are, how powerful it is to explore them, and really what all of the astral actions do. This could be a very, very meta, very powerful origin, or it could just be something that is highly thematic. We will have to wait until we get to play the game before we can find out. Riftworld is also the only way that a full-blown astral rift will appear at map generation. As you may remember, all other rifts are formed from astral scars that open over time throughout the course of the game. In the Riftworld, you've had one looming over your home planet for as long as your society can remember. I imagine some stuff has probably either come out of that rift or got lost into that rift as time has gone on. I'm really excited actually for what the story there could be. Why is it there and what significance does it have? With Riftworld, you will get accelerated access to Astral Rift technology, and therefore you'll be able to find out what's going on very soon. Being so closely connected to worlds beyond the rifts, you'll also possess some generous attunement to the planes, and therefore enjoy several bonuses that make exploring them both more likely and much less dangerous. And can I also just say, this artwork here is absolutely beautiful. I want an HD wallpaper of this, wow. Now let's dive into the new civics. First up, we have the Hyperspace Specialty Civic. Let's read through this and try and work out what on earth is going on, because there is a lot of information on our screen. So first up, you'll probably notice this civic is available to every single type of empire. If you're a regular empire, a megacorp, a hive mind, or even a machine intelligence. The basics are all pretty much the same. You get some effects. Hyperlane breachpoint technology is a guaranteed research option. And you get low intel on all systems within 3 hyperlanes of your starting system. This could be very awesome in PvP because it means you'll know exactly, and I really do mean exactly, where on Earth all of your Earth-like worlds are, or your guaranteed habitable worlds. Next up, modifiers. Planetary sensor range +2. This means your planets will have increased sensor range, so at the start, you'll also get to see even more of what is going on around you. You'll get +10% sublight speed. That is very good later on, especially from a military perspective. We need more and more sublight speed in the game to counter other tactics that can be used against us, like kiting with missiles, etc. Finally, research speed for physics +15%. Physics is, in my opinion, the second best research tree, so getting a 15% bonus to research speed here from a Civic is very good. Overall, these bonuses could be really good early on in the game and give you a great foothold to expand further. You also get a council position if you are not a Gestalt consciousness, or a Gestalt consciousness if you want to pronounce it correctly. The Hyperlane Supervisor, which per skill level grants the Hyperlane Registrar Starbase building an additional +1 stability bonus. So that means at level 5 or level 3 with an oligarchy, you will be at +5 stability from Hyperlane Registrar Starbase buildings, which is exactly the same as the Deep Space Black Site bonus, and at higher levels that gets even better. Not only that, it can be occupied by scientists and commanders. Now, we haven't seen what the rework to these leaders will be doing exactly and where all of the traits are going to end up, but at the moment, Commander or Admiral is the best leader type to get on the council as a normie or Megacorp Empire, because you can get Genius Armorer amongst other things, and therefore that makes Hyperlane Supervisor a very, very powerful council position if things don't change too much. We still haven't seen where everything will be going with that. In terms of the Gestalt Consciousness side of things, it's nice they get access to this. It's a shame they don't get access to the Hyperlane Supervisor Special Council position, but overall this is still, I think, a good Civic. It's going to be a good one early on. You might want to change out of it later on in the game, possibly at year 20. Swapping this out for, dare I say it, catalytic processing could be very powerful. What have the devs got to say? Well, gotta go fast. This might be one for you. This Civic will set you on the fast track for hyperlane research, providing some extra sublight speed and boosting your physics research. Physics research is another recurring theme in Astral Planes. Observing many of the phenomena inside of the rifts will give you new insights for your scientists. You'll also have a boost to planet sensor range, which will start you with some greater understanding of your initial surroundings. Yes, this does very much look like it could be tuned for PvP play, as well as being a fun, useful Civic to play in single player. I'm kind of excited for this one to try it out. Next up, we have the Dimensional Worship Civic, or if you're a Megacorp, the Dimensional Enterprise Civic. Alright, let's break down what's going on here, because there's quite a bit going on as well. So, we must be some degree of spiritualist in order to take this one. It is a spiritualist type of Civic. What are the effects? Well, we can build a dimensional shrine starbase building in any system which contains a wormhole, an astral scar, an astral rift, an L-gate, or a shroud tunnel. Each of these dimensional shrines provides plus 10 unity. That's a nice bonus. That's given I'm guessing this is going to cost just a couple of energy to upkeep, that's a really good conversion rate. When it comes to modifiers, we will get plus 25% monthly astral threads. Now, we don't know how powerful they are yet. We don't know the power level of the astral actions. Until we do, this might be great, or it might just be a bit useless. We get the chance for astral rifts to appear in systems we control at plus 100%. That's quite a bonus. I imagine pairing this with the Riftworld Origin would be a very, very astral-themed playthrough. Rare technologies now appear at 1.1 times the normal rate. This effect would change a 1% chance into a 1.1% chance. Why couldn't they just say a 10%? Yeah, okay, so basically this would mean that rare technologies appear 10% more overall. Then we have the Council position, Astral Minister. Per skill level, each priest in your empire will contribute plus 0.2 physics research. That means that if you have, let's say, level 5, each priest provides a base of plus 1 physics research. That's okay. That's around a quarter of the physics research output of a researcher. If you're a Megacorp, you also produce plus 0.2 trade value per skill level of this minister. They can be an official or a scientist, so they're lacking the commander role, which is probably still going to be the best role to have on your council. But what do the devs have to say about this one overall? Well, there is a spiritual aspect to Astral Planes that can be ignored, but not if you choose this Civic. At each place you discover a weakness in the boundaries of reality, you have the opportunity to build a shrine to other worlds. You'll also get a bonus to astral rifts appearing, which does stack with the Riftworld Origin. Yeah, so that would be the maximum astral planes that you could get. One area we enjoyed in developing this new content was getting the chance to explore the new design space introduced by the system in Galactic Paragons, which in this case can gear your priests to have additional affinity towards physics research. And before anybody complains actually about priests doing research, in the Western world, a lot of, for example, biology research was conducted by priests for hundreds of years. A lot of the famous early biologists were priests, were clergymen. So that would check out that the priests might be documenting some physics-based phenomena from the rifts that can then be used to advance your overall society's understanding of things. How powerful is this one? How interesting is it? I'm not sure. that extra unity could be really good. If you've got a couple of astral scars around your homeworld, especially if you start with an astral rift or you have Riftworld, you'd get quite a lot of extra unity production right at the start of the game. How useful is that unity? Well, it really does depend on the leader rework and what we can do after patch 3.10 drops. Overall, I'm still kind of holding my breath on Dimensional Worship. Could be good, but it could just be a few bonuses here or there. The Dark Consortium Civic is very, very interesting. What on earth does it do? Well, let's read the flavor text to start with. A deep understanding of the architecture of the universe allowed this society to exploit the mysterious properties of dark matter long before the discovery of the hyperdrive. What are the effects? Well, you will start with the dark matter drawing technology already researched. Yes, I am thinking about a very fast crisis run with that fact already, but let's continue. You will get access to special edicts. These are special dark matter edicts. You'll also get access to Dark Matter Breakthrough Council Agenda. What that does, I am very interested to find out. Then you have a council position, the Shadow Weaver. Empire effect per skill level. Dark matter from researchers plus 0.02. So, if you take this Civic, if you take it early on, you could put an official or a scientist, get them up to level 3 or level 4 and have them on the council by around year 10 to 15 by opening an extra councillor slot and really pushing for it. And therefore, if you're an oligarchy as well, get effective councillor skill up to 6, possibly even 7. That means per researcher, you'd be getting plus 0.14 dark matter per month. Meaning, with only around, 7 or so researchers, we get 1 dark matter per month, but not just that. The other important fact to remember here is that we would then get access to buying dark matter on the market. So we could start stockpiling dark matter from the very beginning of the game, and then using it to try and build our etherophasic engine as quickly as we possibly can. This is something I am very excited about. This is a Crisis Rush Civic if I ever saw one. Dark matter is a material which makes up the nothing throughout the various dimensions, and the developers thought it would be interesting to include an option to play as a society which is deeply attuned to this utilization. Yes, I'm very interested in that as well. The Dark Matter Consortium is a type of Civic that cannot be added or removed after the game starts, as it adds some significant changes to your society. Not only do you begin with a dark matter deposit in your home system for even more dark matter and even faster etherophasic engine build, but you already have the capability to harvest it. Rather than it being something extra you can sell on the galactic market, we wanted to introduce some new uses for it. So, if you don't want to blow up the galaxy, you will be able to use the dark matter for something, but why would you not want to ascend to another plane of reality and win the game as fast as you possibly can with a crisis rush? Come on, people! And if you're enjoying this video, please, found a Dark Consortium and crisis rush that like button. And here are the edicts we will get access to. So, we get access to these new edicts. What are they and what do they do? Well, we don't know exactly, but we do have some information from the developers. First, let's go through the 4 names here, and if this is giving you Stephen Baxter Zeely vibes, then oh my goodness me, it really is. I'll start from the bottom. Baryonic Insight. Let's kill some Photino birds, shall we? Dark Matter Unraveling. Dark Matter Forging, we obviously need to destroy the universe, and Shadow Matrix. I mean, if there wasn't a Crisis Rush Origin, oh my goodness me, I've just realized the Zeely are a Crisis Rush Empire. Okay, but moving swiftly on from that, Dark Matter Forging and Dark Matter Unraveling are global production benefits which will increase your monthly alloy and energy generation respectively. So, we can increase alloys, great, but also increase energy, which we can then use to buy more dark matter. And if you play a very tall build with this, Oh my goodness me, this should be very, very fun. I cannot wait to crisis rush the living daylights out of this empire. Alright, so what then does Baryonic Insight do? Well, Baryonic Insight is yet another way to boost your monthly physics research. Finally, investing in a shadow matrix provides encryption, code breaking, and infiltration levels. These are all great edicts that kind of deal with different things you may want to do in the game. Some of them very powerful, some of them just a bit powerful, but overall, nothing here is straight up bad. Extra encryption, code breaking, and infiltration can be good, especially if you're not using it necessarily to do the different espionage missions, but just get intel on the other empires in the galaxy. Find out, for example, their ship designs so you can counter them. In the late game, you have the opportunity to activate a council agenda, which will unlock one of the dark matter technologies at random. A privilege previously only available if you were able to borrow it from one of the fallen empires. Hold up. Hold the phone. Nobody move. Let me just read that again. Towards the late game, you have the opportunity to activate a council agenda, which unlocks a dark matter technology at random, which previously is only accessible to the fallen empires. Wait a minute. Not only do we get dark matter at the start, we get dark matter edicts that are seemingly very, very powerful. We can build our ethrophasic engine faster, and if anyone wants to challenge us later on, we can start just rolling out dark matter technologies like, I don't know, dark matter shielding, dark matter energy cores, dark matter thrusters, dark matter, whatever you want. We'll throw dark matter into it. Don't you worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. Oh my goodness me. This Civic I like. This Civic I like a lot. Now, the council position as well also provides you a way to generate even more dark matter without having to find new sources to harvest. Yes, pushing up research production is something you'll almost certainly want to do, if possibly to unlock the different levels of the crisis, but also maybe just because you want more research. That now comes hand in hand with getting more dark matter. Yeah, I can't really see any downsides to this Civic. It's pretty awesome. The last Civic we have to go through is very, very long. This is the Sovereign Guardianship Civic. It's a Civic that the developers are basically saying is a tall Civic. This is all about tall play. What does it do? Right, let's start at the very, very top here. This is also, I should mention, available to guessed out consciousness empires, hive mind empires, but I'm not showing those on screen right now because the image is too long, all right? I'm just showing the normie one, the regular bio one, and the megacorp one. The effects are the same, except they don't have the council position if you're playing as a hive mind or a machine intelligence. They're called Guardian Cluster and Guardian Matrix, respectively, if you want to know. Right, let's dive in and see what it does. This collection of warring tribes has developed a historical preference for entrenched territories and defensive posturing. Now united, they are prepared to bring this philosophy to the stars, aiming to keep their borders solid and tensions low. This has some effects. It will unlock the Fanatic Guardians as a defensive army. Yeah, okay, so what? It allows you to build a reloading bay in your star bases. Okay, I don't know what that is, and that sounds cool. Let me theorycraft for a moment, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below what you think a reloading bay does, but I'm guessing that it's going to increase our fire rate system-wide by quite a lot. That, or maybe it's something to do with fighters' speed, fighter reload time. Well, we don't have fire rate time for fighters, maybe? I'm not sure. Then, we have the Inner Focus Edict, which converts influence into unity. This, I assume, is for when you don't need all of that influence. If you're not expanding, claiming, doing things that need influence, what else are you going to do with it? Now, you can convert it directly into unity and spend it on something. Then we have the Empire modifiers. Empire size from planets plus 100%. Empire size from branch offices plus 100%. Empire size from systems plus 150%. Only plus 100 if you're a megacorp though, so that's weird. Also, if you are the other two, if you're Guardian Cluster or Guardian Matrix, you only get plus 100% as well. So only normie bios have that plus 150% modifier. That's a little confusing. Right, what's next? Empire size from POPs, which is, by and large, the most biggest, and I'm going to use those words and not change them, the most biggest contributor to empire size that we have in the game. Empire size from districts and pops is both at minus 50%. This is a wet dream if you really want to play tall. Diplomatic weight plus 20%, unity from soldiers plus 1. So it's going to reward you by having very few planets which are very large in size, full of pops, full of districts. So I'm looking at you, Gaia World Origin. I'm also looking at the Void Origin, possibly if you only build a couple, or just sticking to 3 or 4 planets. That would kind of do it. So those bonuses seemed all right. It's basically just messing around with empire size and giving us a little bit more diplo weight and unity from soldiers. Now comes the terrifying part. We have either the Secretary of Defense, Commander only, which, as you remember, I think is going to be the best leader to have in your government, or the First Citadel. Empire, wide effect per skill level. Defense army damage, plus 10%. That's not so big, that's not very much at all. At level 5, that's 50%, so what? Starbase hull points, plus 5%. At level 5, at max level, that's 50%, that's quite a bit. That's quite a few hull points. Starbase armor, plus 5%. At max level, that's plus 50%. That's a lot of armor. On top of the bonuses we can get from Unyielding and the Ascension perk, we could have some very, very tough star bases here. Shield hit points in friendly systems, plus 5% per skill level. That's going to affect not just our star base, but all of our fleets. Ship fire rate in friendly systems, plus 5% per skill level. That could be 50% extra fire rate in our own systems. We can combine that with other bonuses like the Ascension Edict bonus for another 40%, plus the home defense bonus of 10% if you complete Supremacy and take the policy. That could be plus 100% fire rate in friendly systems before any other bonuses are included. Wow. And finally, accuracy in friendly systems, plus 5%. That means that all of your weapons will, in theory, always hit. Nothing has below 50% accuracy, so getting plus 50% accuracy puts it to 100. That's hitting all the time. Now, yes, you would still need tracking to negate evasion, but these are some wild bonuses. This basically is going to make your systems very, very tough, very impregnable. Combining this with Inward Perfectionist could be a very, very Sim City playthrough. Unfortunately, Hive Mind and Machine Empires kind of get screwed with this one. They don't get the special council position, so they don't get any of those military bonuses. They get the empire size penalties and bonuses and the diplo weight stuff and the effects, the special effects, but none of those really powerful council bonuses we just looked through. Now, this one cannot be added or removed after the start of the game. That's an important point to make here as well. And it may seem a bit out of left field in Astral Planes, according to the devs, but it is very much the opposite of what you generally want to do regarding exploring the universe and other dimensions. This Civic is entirely intended for those of you that want to develop a tall build, which should be clear by the heavy penalties introduced by expanding too much. Those penalties are offset by some juicy defensive bonuses, including a new Starbase module, which improves the efficiency of the Starbase's weaponry, okay? What that exactly means, I still don't know, but we will find out. You'll also be given access to a unique edict, which we covered, converting influence into unity. What else the devs said? Well, they thought it was important to provide as many playstyle options as possible with Astral Planes, even if it isn't necessarily themed to the new content. Feel free to turtle up if you so wish. Looking at the bonuses here, there's one final thing I want to say, and that is, I actually think this rewards wide play more than it does tall play. Okay? And let me break down why I think that, alright? 70 to 80% of your empire size is going to come from pops. Reducing that empire size from pops by 50%, but doubling the empire size from planets and systems will still reduce total empire size if you play wide. Because you will still be trying to build the largest planets with as many pops on as you possibly can as a wide empire. White empires have some problems in terms of pop growth compared to smaller empires, but those problems are minuscule, and having more pops is just generally better. This will reward having fewer planets with more pops on, but if you just have lots of planets with lots of pops on, this is still a great civic to have. I'm not entirely sure it rewards tall play as much as you might think by just scratching the surface here. We've also got some pre-scripted empires coming now into the game. Rounding out some of the extra content that the devs have included in Astral Planes, they have 2 new pre-scripted empires. You can totally ignore these if you'd like, and you can make your own species, but you might be interested if you want to have a quick start into the new content. For that, they would recommend the Certeran Covenant. Now, not only do these folks come with some of the new civics and the new origin, they also come with new, unique portraits. That is right, we're getting a new species portrait, which is kind of weird-looking alien space elves, I would say, with big bulbous heads. Or otherwise known as the Certera, but I'm not going to judge. Anyway, when a Certeran dies, it is believed that their essence feeds back through a gateway into the astral planes. In this way, they are assured of a life after death, though what form that may take remains a mystery. A strict moral code is enforced to keep the population aligned in this belief. No pious Certeran wants to wander eternity alone. The bravest of their explorers now search for rifts in space and time, driven to answer their society's most important question: where do you go when you die? This is really giving me vibes of that Star Trek Voyager episode where there's that entire alien species that uses corpses to create new people. That's very much like necrophage, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely giving me that sort of vibe. And this is a brand new humanoid species portrait that we will get. This is, I believe, included in the DLC. So the DLC not only includes these kind of archaeology site things that are the rifts, archaeology sites with extra steps. Ignore I said that, no one sue me. But it also includes a new origin, 4 new civics, new music, and this new species portrait. Very cool stuff. This empire represents the ultimate jumpstart into astral planes. You're getting boosts to your physics research, which will make it much easier to obtain the requisite technologies for exploring rifts, and dimensional worship allows you to gain unity while you do it. Notably, their Ascensionist Civic, previously from Utopia, will also be available to anyone that buys Astral Planes. Now, I can't imagine you don't own Utopia, but if you are, 1 in 5 billion, I'm sure there's somebody out there who doesn't have Utopia but has other DLC, then you'll also get access to the Ascensionist Civic with this DLC. That's pretty cool. I don't really do these in Dev Diary videos, but actually this one has become so long, and I have to say thank you for sticking with me today. I'm a little bit unwell, you might have heard that in my voice. I've got complete sinus congestion and blocked throat and yada yada, so I've been listening back, I don't sound great all the time. I've had some problems, but this is the secret call out where I'm going to say thank you very much for watching up to here, and let me know down in the comments below if you've actually seen this. But otherwise, let's continue on through the video. What are we? We're over 33 minutes. Wow, this is really a long one. The other pre-scripted race is the Guardianship of Nyrr. These people are using the Sovereign Guardianship Civic, the tall Civic, or possibly wide Civic, that we just looked at a few moments ago. The typical Nyrrian life cycle lasts nearly 200 years, incubating for decades in sanctuaries below the burning sands of their home planet. Only 1 in 100 eggs will hatch, and only 1 in 1,000 hatchlings will crawl their way to safety. Upon coming of age, all Nyrrians swear a blood oath to protect their sanctuaries with their lives. To witness the death of another Nyrrian from unnatural causes is the greatest shame imaginable. The values of preservation and vigilance are etched into every facet of Nyrrian culture. To breach the walls of any city on Nyrr is nigh impossible, and none alive can remember when the last brick fell. Temba, his arms wide, the most stalwart defenders now carry this ethos to the stars. Here the devs are showcasing the new Sovereign Guardianship Civic in a metaphorical turtle form. This will be a good way for you to test out the Civic without having to think too hard about exactly how you'd like to customize it. Pre-scripted empires are really one of the best tools for both casual play and roleplay, according to the developers. And the devs really wanted to make sure that they included a couple of those with this new content. But wait, there's more! Apparently, there is an overarching story that the devs are not revealing yet, but there is an overarching story that is contained within Astral Planes. Of course, the Riftworld Origin has its own narrative to weave, but beyond that, regardless of your origin, there is something else going on. Maybe you'll encounter it, and maybe you won't. If you continue to explore beyond the rifts, it's sure to find you sooner or later. It will be your choice on how to handle what you find. I mean, all of that sounds really super ominous, and if we look at the announcement date reveal trailer, because we have had that, let's take a look at that for a moment. There appears to be a message coming through from the rifts, a tune. With the planes, we will find you. You might have also noticed there a little tiny flicker where it didn't just say we will find you, it also said something else. What did it say? Well, yeah, it said we will feed. I assume that means they'll feed us. You know, it's the human cookbook situation here, definitely. No, it could also mean we're getting a crisis, some sort of crisis type event thing happening in conjunction with these astral rifts. The end of this overarching narrative that the devs are talking about could lead us to having to fight some sort of entity, some sort of thing. That could be what the, and I'm going to draw us all the way back to the beginning of this video, that could be something to do with the Formless. Because we've not really heard that talked about, except the fact that this includes the Formless. We could be getting a new Crisis faction called the Formless that come through the Astral Rift and basically destroy our reality. We will have to wait until November the 16th to find out though. Speaking of a possible new Crisis included in this game, thanks to this DLC, let's move on to the DLC's price. Now, obviously this isn't a full review. I am going to be doing a review and I'll be hopefully releasing that to coincide with the release of Astral Planes on November the 16th. So if you want to know my opinion on this DLC and whether you should get it, then stick around and wait for that video. But the price is going to be $20, 20 euros, or whatever the equivalent is in your country. That used to be the price of a major expansion. That used to be the price of things like Overlord, Federations, Nemesis, where we had large core systems added into the game. What are we getting with this DLC? Well, we are getting Astral Rifts and Astral Actions, and that could be considered a core system mechanic. On the other hand, from what we've seen, it looks like it could also be a retooling of the archaeology site mechanic, and if you'll recall, the Ancient Relics DLC was not marketed at $20, that was marketed at a much lower story pack rate. And a lot of what we're seeing here does look like it is very much a story pack, but we're paying for this at a major expansion price. That definitely leaves me with some concerns. I am yet still to try it out. We do need to try the game, try this DLC and see how it plays, see what the new mechanics are like, see if it's worth this large price tag. But at half the price of the base game, I definitely have some reservations. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I, of course, would love to hear from you. We're also getting another Dev Diary tomorrow, where we're going to be going over the final changes in the 3.10 free patch that's coming out with Astral Planes, so keep your eyes peeled on the sky for that one. Until then, if you'd like to know more about the new Astral Planes mechanics, specifically the new multiverse powers you will get with Astral Actions, then click the video on screen now.